Hi mga kudoks! As you all know, I'm a pediatrician from the Philippines and now I'm here in the UK. I'm Dr. Wit.
Good day mga kudok. So today is my day off and I thought of being productive today since it's a nice sunny spring day here in the UK, and I wanted to share things with you on the initial struggles that I had when I first started working as a doctor in the NHS here in the UK, and how I am coping at present and how I am thriving with all the initial struggles that I have. So if you are interested with this topic, please stay tuned and watch until the end of this video. So the first struggle that I want to share with you guys is about handover. So in the Philippines, we used to call handover as endorsement. So as you know, if you're working as a nurse or a doctor or other healthcare professionals, basically at the start of your shift, the night team or the previous team hands over all of the patients to the receiving team. So if at the end of your shift, you also hand over all of your patients to the next shift. So for me, handover is really a struggle when I first started working as a doctor here in the UK, because the pattern of handing over patients here is a little bit different on how I used to do it when I was still in the Philippines. So here in the UK, they use the acronym SBAR, which stands for situation, background, assessment, and recommendation. So they really use that structure in handing over patients, which is really a very structured type of handing over patients. So in the Philippines, we really don't have this S-bar thing. So it's quite a struggle for me to apply this on handing over patients. So initially, I was like afraid if I miss out on something, or if I am being very complex on how I hand over patients. I'm really nervous. I get tummy pain, and sometimes I'm having like unusual loose bowel movement because of my anxiety. Because in the Philippines, most of the time, I'm not saying all of the time, handover is really terrible in the Philippines, but when I was in training, handing over patient is quite challenging, because your seniors or the one that you're handing over to is quite grilling you in some sense when you hand over patients to them, and you feel bad if you miss something. You feel that you're not enough, or what you did during your shift was not enough. So I think that feeling, or the Philippines, made me feel this one when I'm already here in the UK. So the good thing about handing over here in the NHS is that it's very constructive. So they don't really pinpoint you or on your mistakes, but the sole purpose of the handover is to provide patient safety, to provide the optimal care for the patient, and not really to grill the person who was on duty. It really took me some time before I get used to the handover here in the NHS. So the good thing is that I'm already slowly adapting to handing over patients. I'm not that nervous anymore. I'm already using the S-bar system, and I'm only handing over the essentials, but I'm still learning to this point, and I am still continuously changing my style somehow. And the good thing is that I'm already getting used to it.
Another struggle that I had is calling everyone by their first name.
So now I am slowly adapting on calling each other with their first name, especially our consultant. So before we really say Dr. blah blah, Dr. blah blah, and now you will just be used to calling your consultants or your seniors or your juniors with their first name without saying doctor anymore. Same with your patients, you will not be calling them ma'am or sir. You will be calling them with their first name, or whichever they want to be called. Another culture that I was initially struggling was the tea culture. So as you know, if you're working here in the UK, everyone goes for a tea in between their work. So initially I was like, what's the purpose of tea time? I'm not really sure what's the importance of doing tea time. So I was initially struggling with this. So now I'm getting used to tea time, and I know that the purpose of tea time is to catch up with things related to work, or it could be things that are not related to work. So basically you're just having a short break in between your work, together with your seniors, together with your colleagues, and you talk over random things. It could be things related to work, or it could be things outside of work. So it's a really nice short gathering together with your workmates during work, because you tend to forget for a short time about your work, and you could have a breather in between your shift. So the third challenge that I want to share with you, so I think each and every overseas worker, or especially overseas Filipino worker, feels whenever they go outside of the country and they live in a totally different place, most likely you will feel homesickness and loneliness. So I think this is the main struggle, or the bulk of my struggle, to be honest, since I started working abroad, since I arrived here in the UK. So even though I'm married, even though I'm with my wife technically here in the UK, although we're currently on a semi long distance relationship at the moment, because she is in England and I'm here working in Scotland, but hopefully we will be together soon. But anyway, since my family, my parents are in the Philippines and they're already getting old, they are also ill, and I'm not there 24 hours a day. I'm not there with them, especially at this crucial time that they're already aging and there's a lot of illness going on. So I think this is my main struggle, to be honest, because sometimes I get lonely after work, because we have different time zones, obviously. So whenever I arrive from work, it's already early morning in the Philippines and they are already sleeping, and when it's morning here in the UK, it's already nighttime there in the Philippines, and most of the time I'm working when they are still awake. So it's really a struggle that I just get to call them during my day off, and I can't really, be there for them physically, and I can't take care of them, that they're old now and they're ill. So these thoughts are really bugging me every now and then, but all I can do is, of course, prayers for sure, and help them financially, and hopefully if I have enough time and I could have an annual leave, I will definitely go back there to spend time with them, especially at this time that they're already old. So this is a constant struggle. I'm not really saying that I already surpassed loneliness and homesickness since I arrived here in the UK. So it's a constant adjustment, constant search for happiness while you're here working, and I think you will not really get used to it, but you will find ways to substitute the homesickness and the loneliness, and just continue to be optimistic and continue to at least be in contact with them, even though we just call them, message them, do a video chat, as if they're okay, saying I love you to them. So I think that's my way of adjusting homesickness and loneliness since I arrived here in the UK. So the next challenge that I want to share is, of course, the language and the accent here in the UK, specifically here in Scotland. So as you know, in the Philippines, English is not our first language. Although it's being taught in school, we're not really using it on an everyday basis, unless if you have someone that speaks English a lot on your group of friends or in your family, you tend to speak English a lot. But in my case, we don't really speak a lot of English at home or with my friends. So I usually talk with my native language. So when I arrived here in the UK, I thought I'm already equipped in speaking in English, and I know that I already passed the occupational English test before I took my exams. But you know, the struggle is very real when I arrived here, when I'm communicating with the locals, especially here in Scotland, in this small town, in this small hospital where I'm working with, wherein most of the people here are local Scottish people, and they speak, of course, English, and there's this thick Scottish accent for sure. So initially I was like really struggling on understanding the Scottish accent. Sometimes I just, you know, stare blankly and I don't know what they're saying. Everything just, you know, comes past on my ear and I really can't understand what they are saying. So I think that's my struggle on the first months, to be honest, on the first 1 to 2 months when I was here. And I was like, what am I hearing? I don't know if I could understand them in the future. But thankfully now I'm slowly learning on listening to the Scottish accent, and I'm slowly learning the slangs that they used to say, and I think I'm not really struggling that much anymore in terms of the Scottish accent. But I really can say that I'm totally free from this challenge with the English and the Scottish accent. But for sure I'm much better now compared to how I used to when I first started here. So what I did is constantly listen to my patients, watch a lot of English films, and listen to locals, talk to them, converse with them, even though it's a struggle. Listen to them as much as possible, read their lips so that it will be easier for you to understand, and constantly, you know, communicate with them. You could also ask them to repeat what they said. You could tell them that you cannot understand what they're saying, and for sure they will politely repeat and clarify everything to you. So I'm glad that I'm slowly adjusting with the struggle with understanding and communicating in English. And lastly, the thing that I want to share with you guys in this video is the phenomenon of imposter syndrome. So I think you're familiar with this syndrome, wherein you feel that you are not worth it for the job, wherein you feel like you are stupid, or when you feel like you're not really good at your work. So as you all know, I'm already a pediatric consultant in the Philippines, and I know that when I arrive here in the UK, I will still be learning a lot in terms of the system, in terms of managing patients, adjusting to the culture, adjusting to the whole NHS. So I was already expecting that, but I think it really hit me hard when I'm already in the system, when I'm already working. So initially I feel like, am I really worth it for the job? Especially I started as a middle grade doctor, wherein there's a big responsibility for me because I'm more senior in the job place, and I feel like I can really do it because I'm already a consultant in the Philippines. But when I arrived here, I feel like I really don't know anything. I feel like I don't have enough knowledge, I don't have enough skills. But slowly, as the weeks go by, as the months go by, when I feel like I'm being supported by my colleagues, when I'm already adjusting with the whole system, I'm learning all the protocols, the system, and all. Now I can say that I'm already slowly adjusting with everything, and I feel like I'm not feeling the imposter syndrome anymore. So mga kudoks, if you're also an immigrant like me, or an overseas Filipino worker, or maybe an IMG doctor as well, working here in the UK or maybe in another country, And if you are touched by this video, please like and subscribe mga kudoks. Paalam!